All right. Ashton, locks of the week. Let's recap last week first. Ashton, staying out there, just keeping on winning people money. 2-1 this last week for you. 6-1 on the season. Your wins were Notre Dame -7.5 against NC State. Easy cover, never in doubt. And Oregon -6.5 against Texas Tech. Again, easy cover. Just kidding. Not quite so much. But the right side of the side gets paid. So those were 2 wins. Your one loss was Texas A&M -4 against Miami. We won't talk any more about that.
No.
I was 4-3 on the week, 7-9 on the season. Now my wins, Notre Dame -7.5. Also Oregon -6.5. So we had 2 of the same. I also had Colorado -2.5 against Nebraska. Easy cover there. And the Iowa State under 36.5. Felt pretty good about that one the whole way through. Okay. My losses were Vanderbilt +10. That game seemed suspicious, and I should have stayed off it, but alas, I did not. James Madison -5.5 against Virginia. They did win the game, but not by that much. So props to Virginia for actually showing some offensive life in this game. And then Utah -7.5 against Baylor. That hook got me. Utah wins the game by 7.
That was tough.
So it goes.
Yeah. You probably didn't deserve to win that one either. And like full disclosure, I had no business winning the Oregon bet, just none at all. And it's again, did you get paid? Because I did. The right side's the one that gets paid. Yeah, you're a winner or a loser. It is funny how I was just wrong on the Texas A&M Miami one. I couldn't have been more wrong on that pick. And those are almost easier to forget than the ones where you almost got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you'd just rather be way wrong. Like I guess I was just way off on that one. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about this week's locks. Before we start throwing them out there, I'll just say I wrote a bunch of these down yesterday that I was looking at, and 3 of them have already moved past a key number for me the wrong direction, which tells me I was on the right side probably like Sunday. Right. And the point here is not to say, well, I was on the right side. The point is, if you actually want to bet on college football, do it on Sunday right when the lines come out.
Yeah.
Because they're going to adjust and get better as the week goes on and more people bet. So the 3, I'm just going to throw these out there to you, and you tell me if I should actually still go with any of these 3.
Okay.
All kind of a key number. Right now, the numbers out there, Maryland -14 against Virginia. It was 13.5. What do you think? Can I fade Virginia again?
I have no problem with it. I have no problem with that at all. Yeah, I'm not going to join you, but I have no problem.
I think I'll stick with that one. I'll take Maryland -14. To me, they feel like clearly a better team than Virginia. I know we saw Virginia have a little bit better week last week, but this is an actual Power 5 opponent. I'm going to fade Virginia.
Maryland's good too. Like I think let's both things are true there. Yeah.
Now I'm kind of begging you to talk me out of these next 2. North Carolina -7.5 against Minnesota. I liked it more at 7 for sure.
You have no business being in that one. That one there is okay. What about North Carolina the past couple of years has made you feel confident about them and their performance consistently? The defense, although looking good, it looked really good against South Carolina. It does still feel like it could fade at any moment. That's fine. More power to you if you believe in it. Do you have a good feel on Minnesota? Because I don't. In North Carolina, they have great quarterback play. Like we know, that's the one thing we do know. I'd just be staying away personally. It's up to you. It's not for me.
At -7, I liked it because just the quarterback mismatch and feeling like North Carolina could put up points against Minnesota, even though they have a good defense, and Minnesota probably can't keep up with them.
Right.
But 7.5, I'm going to take it off my board. I got bit by a 7.5 last week, and I just it's not a fun number to bet. And then the last one that moved on me. Florida now a 7-point underdog against Tennessee. It was 7.5, which I felt a lot better about. Again, that 7 or 7.5 number is just a big deal. But any reason to think I should stick on Florida +7? I'm not going to do it.
What do you know about Florida? What do we? How confident are we in Joe Milton? You know what I'm saying? What are we believing in? You were on what side of that? You were on Florida to cover.
I was on Florida to cover 7.5 at home against a questionable quarterback situation, or at least a spotty quarterback situation. At 7.5, I'm going to take it off my board. Or at 7, sorry, at an even 7.
Right.
I could very easily see Tennessee winning this game by 7. To me, that feels like kind of a tipping point for me. So I'll take it off my board.
That would be smart. I just, as someone who's going to this game, I've thought since the offseason that Florida could give Tennessee a real run in this game. Florida's got the talent to do so. No question that Tennessee probably over the course of the year will be the better football team. That does not mean that one game on the road, night game, by the way, I'm expecting this place to be loud. Like, I think this will be a really nice environment to be in. I would just be kind of staying away, but I do think that, I think Tennessee's a better football team, but I think that one night in the swamp, anything could happen. All bets are off. And that's why I personally am staying away.
All right, that's enough for me for now. Let's go to you. Okay. I have a few more later, but what's on your board for locks of the week? So
I have two, and I actually already have money out on both of these. I have Wyoming. Covering the 28. It's actually moved up to 28.5. Okay, this is the Wyoming versus Texas. At Texas. Just to be clear there, Texas.
I have 29.5 for you, by the way.
That's even better. Let off game for them. Let off game. I think it's hard to beat Alabama and then come back and give your all against Wyoming. You have to win by 4 touchdowns or over 4 touchdowns rather. Wyoming is a good football team. Like we've seen Wyoming be good already. Yeah, I'm betting on the letdown spot from Texas. Again, I think Texas will have a really good year. I think Texas will win the game outright. They have no business covering the 29.5, that number that's out there right now. That's one for me. The second one, we already mentioned it, Washington covering against Michigan State. The number I have already bet on is 14.5. Washington covering 14.5. I think that's up to like 6. Is it at 16?
Let me see what I can find here.
Yeah. So that number
16 is the best number. So for the pot, I'll give you 16. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. That number has moved. I bet right as the news came out that he was going to be suspended and just went ahead and put some out there right away. That Mel Tucker was going to be suspended and out. I just think it's going to be really hard with all the distractions to come out and still be focused. And by the way, even if they were focused, this is not a good matchup for Michigan State. Right. It hasn't been in the previous years. Penix, he's been really good. Like the Washington offense has been really, really special. The receivers are, it's one of the best receiving cores out there right now. I feel confident in this number. Like, I think this is a potential blowout here. I think Washington gets in there. I think they score early, get Michigan State down. I think they keep scoring. I like where Washington's headspace is right now. I think they run it up a little bit on Sparty.
I have lock agreement with you on that one. I'm also taking Washington minus 16. Sorry. I would love to jump on the Wyoming one with you if that game was in Laramie. I feel like they're a lot better at home, partially because of that elevation and just kind of a weird place. I'll stay away from it at Texas. Don't hate it for you though. Like it all makes sense. Everything that you said was logical. So we have one lock agreement this week, unless I can talk you into some more. But
okay, all right.
I got Florida State minus 25.5 against Boston College.
That's tasty.
It just doesn't make sense to me, and maybe that's why I should be scared. But I just think Boston College is terrible.
They're not.
They almost lost to Holy Cross last week. They did lose to Northern Illinois, who's terrible in week 1. Florida State, I realize this could be like a trap game or whatever, but I think that they walk into a 4-touchdown lead here. So I'll take Florida State to cover.
Yes, that's the right side. It's the side that you should be on. We've seen nothing from Boston College to think that they have any kind of fight right now. The only problem, it's a noon kick in Chestnut Hill.
Sure.
I don't love that. Like, I just don't. I think
it's that's a little sleepy.
It's a tricky spot. Yeah. Like, how do we know Florida State's going to be up for this game? Because let's be honest, they could. Half of their team could wake up and go to this game and still win by 2 scores. Like they don't even need all their players to do that. I think Florida State could easily just be like, oh, we're going to sit on a 2-touchdown lead, maybe a 3-touchdown lead. We're just going to run the ball and kind of just no one get hurt too much. But it's the right side. You're absolutely the right side. Let me hear a few more and I'll decide. I may still come over with you on that one.
I'm looking at 2 more. I'm not sold on either one of them, but I want to hear your thoughts on them.
Okay.
This is Now, this is obvious homerism, but Notre Dame is 3-0 against the spread this year, and they play
Correct.
Central Michigan,
Yeah.
favored by 33.5. Now, the obvious thing here is they got Ohio State next week, so there's that. Central Michigan is terrible. Just Notre Dame should crush them. My only concern is maybe a backdoor cover, like if Notre Dame has lots of backups in, but I also kind of like their depth, at least against Central Michigan. So I don't know. Like I like that it's under 5 touchdowns. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Ashton?
Central Michigan kicked a long field goal at the buzzer to beat New Hampshire last week.
Exactly.
In week 1, they got crushed by Sparty, who's not good. We don't think they are. It's something I looked at. I already looked at that game. And you're right. Notre Dame is 3-0 against the spread. At some point, they're just going to keep throwing bigger and bigger numbers out, trying to get Notre Dame to lose. Notre Dame, the offense is elite. I don't think Vegas has quite caught up with how good that Notre Dame offense is. You're the right side. That's what I'm thinking about. What's your last one, I guess? I might still come back to that. Currently, I'm staying off, though.
The last one might shock you a little bit, but it's Alabama minus 31.5 against USF.
No.
They had a relatively tough group of 5 in week 1 against what's the Tennessee school? Middle Tennessee State.
Correct.
I think Jalen Milroe might be the perfect quarterback to just destroy clearly overmatched teams, like USF, for example, in this game.
Sure.
Okay. USF lost some good players in the portal from last year. I think it's going to be a tough week of practice for Alabama for obvious reasons. I think their players are going to come out wanting to show that they're not as bad as everyone thinks they are. I don't actually think they're. Let me be careful. I'm not. I was about to say I don't actually think they're a legitimate national title contender. I'm a lot closer to saying that than I used to be, obviously, a week ago.
Yeah.
But they're very clearly like way better than USF. I don't think they're clearly a hugely worse team than Texas. They're not as good as Texas, probably. But I don't know. I'm saying a lot of words to kind of talk myself into this one. I'm still not sure I believe it. I just feel like Alabama's going to try to wash the taste of that last week out of their mouths, and they're going to lay waste to USF even more than they would have if they would have won that Texas game.
That's fine. You go. You pop off on that one. I'm staying away. No, I am not putting money on that offense. Not on Jalen Milroe. Not after what we saw. Not on Jalen Milroe. No. If they maybe that's fine. Like you can put some money on there, and they could possibly cover. That's a large number. They're on the road too, not a home game. A rare road trip to what is that, Tampa? I guess to play the South Florida, the Bulls. Yeah, I just spare me with that one. I'm just no. You had me on the other ones. I'm considering it. So what's your total amount now? That gives you have 5 now?
That gives me 5. Yeah, I have fewer each week. I guess. Yeah. I like the lines more and more as we go into the season. As far as I think they're more accurate. I didn't start week 1 all that great. I was better in week 2, obviously, but these are the 5 I'm sticking with. Maryland minus 14, Florida State minus 25.5, Notre Dame minus 33.5, Alabama minus 31.5, and Washington minus 16.
I'll come with you. I'll come with you on Florida State.
Okay.
Or should I do Notre Dame? I like them both. I really do. I want 3 locks. I currently only have 2. I want 3. I don't like the look ahead notion with Notre Dame, Ohio State next week. That's biggest game of the season, or one of the 2 biggest games that they'll play. I don't like that look ahead. I really don't. That makes you feel like, oh, we could pull starters early and just kind of sit on, a 4 touchdown lead and not cover the 34 points.
Who does Florida State play? They play Clemson next week.
Clemson next week. I'm serious. That's a problem. That really is a problem. Maybe spare me on both of those. I don't like the look ahead. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to stick with the 2 that I've got. I feel comfortable with those. Washington covering. And then the other one was the big underdog in Wyoming on the bounce back week for Texas. I think, yeah, just maybe they sleepwalk into that one just a little bit. So yeah, I'll stick with my two.
Okay.